I'm gonna tell you my offer, and could you tell the seller my offer? Just let him know what my offer is in case, like a verbal.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, go ahead and give me your offer.
okay, 24,120.
You know, that's absolutely no. He would say no to that. There's no to more than that.
Can you still give him the verbal for me,
Absolutely not.
please?
Absolutely. Let me
Okay.
have your name.
I'm Jonathan. Hello, my name is Jonathan. I'm a cash buyer interested on your listing on Cass Avenue.
Oh, great. Yeah, we've had that up for a little bit, but we got some interested people in it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking this thing's gonna need a lot of work. It's pretty torn apart, as you obviously know that.
Yeah, I guess that would be a fixer-upper.
Yeah, it's kind of on like a commercial street. I see it's next to some big roads and some restaurants, Little Caesars.
Yeah, I mean, that's super nice. You can walk right over and get a pizza anytime you want.
That's what I can imagine. But you don't think that'll affect at all with trying to sell this property, will you?
No, I don't think so. It could be okay.
Okay, well then, I guess I'll tell you my offer.
All right, well, what's your offer? What are you thinking?
24,000.
24, let me see. What do I have that listed at?
89.5.
Yeah. I should have said. Okay, are you sitting down?
Yeah, I do. I say that all the time. Okay, one thing, Jonathan, just some feedback is when you're lowballing an offer, so they're asking almost 90, your offer's, what was it, 25?
You want to ask them if they're even thinking about that, right? Before you say your offer, you'd be like,
Yeah.
What's
So
the
what you
lowest
want,
you'll go,
what you
something
want to
like
do
that.
is you want to use the information you have to tailor your conversation. So, for example, what do we know about this property? It's been on the market for 223 days.
So it's been there a while.
Yeah, so then I might start the conversation and say, hey, so I see this has been for sale for a long time. Tell me what's going on. Can you tell me what's going on? Why do you think it hasn't sold yet?
Okay.
And so that's a question you can ask. And then when they're like, well, blah, 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 you can say, yeah, I'm interested in this property. So as you go through the conversation, build rapport first, offer last. And when you're lowballing, I don't even want to give a real number because we know that we're way under. So we just want to kind of throw out there. So when they say, like Papa did, Papa's like, okay, what's your offer? They're going to ask that. After a minute, they're going to be like, what's your offer? And then what I would say is on this one, I'd say, well, I'm quite a bit lower than where you're asking. I know, what's your offer? I mean, I got to be, and I try to avoid answering it because what I want to do is I just want to keep setting the stage that it's way under.
And I'm probably going to be your one and only offer.
Yeah, and I might be your own. I mean, I'm clearly you're not getting decent offers. That's why it's sitting. And so then before I even get to that like lowball number, I want to establish why I'm so low. Because if you just jump right in and you're asking 90, I'm at 20, they're just going to shut right down and be like, okay, no, bye.
Yeah. Okay,
But if I say, so there's two ways that you can establish why you're so low. Two reasons why. One reason would be you're basing the value. What is the real value? What's the ARV, after repair value? And what's the repair number? When I come up with those numbers, it means I got to be way low. What are your numbers? So I don't say it quite like that, but that's the point. So I'll say to him, yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm really interested. What do you think this will resell for after it's all fixed up? And if he says 200,000, 175,000, what's our number? Do you remember?
It was 172.
170, yeah, 172, 175. So when he's like 225, then I would be like, oh, okay, well, where are you getting 225? How are you basing that? Not from a I don't believe you, but from a help me understand. So help me understand, how are you getting 225? I'm looking at comps and my concern, what's our concerns with this house?
It's on like a
Main road.
main road.
It's on a busy road, Cass Avenue. We looked at the maps, right? We looked at the
Not many
street
people
view.
want to have a quiet little place on.
And it's zoned mixed use. It's zoned mixed use, which means mixed use means it's commercial or residential. So there's businesses around. A retail buyer may not want to be on a main road in a commercial area. So houses in the neighborhood are easily selling in the 220, 225, but those are on side streets in residential areas.
Right next to Grossbeck Highway.
Yeah, so this is why is this information helpful? So you can have a legit conversation now. So we're going to use what we know and we're going to have a conversation. So then when he's like 225, I would say back, yeah, I see 225. I see similar square footage, similar size homes.
But that's more in the residential.
But that's in the residential.
We're next to the highway.
So you don't want to shoot him down or be argumentative. You just want to have a way to respond in a way that's not going to be, you don't want to create a conflict. So then I would be like, man, I hear you. I think 225 all day long. But my concern is, man, it's on a busy road. Do you think it'll get 225 on that busy road?
What if he's just like, yeah?
Then they may be that way. And then you can just be like, man, I don't know. I'm really worried about 225. It's a main road. And man, I'm really worried about it being in a commercial district. He may say, yeah, but the commercial area is going to give it more value because now someone could do a home business out of it. Oh, okay. Well, tell me more about that. Why do you see that? Do you have a comp on a property that's sold on CAS?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't. I only have these nice residential comps. Oh, shoot. If you could show me one, then man, I would totally be on board. But since it's on a busy road and since it's in a commercial area, I think I really need to be like more 175 on the resale. Don't you agree? Or do you agree? Or tell me what you think about that. And so then we're trying to establish credibility as to why we're low. So that's one, is value. The second one is condition. So then we say to him, what do you think it's going to take to fix this house up? I mean, I'm looking at a roof, windows, siding, and everything inside.
Yeah.
And then don't tell him your number. We have a number, right? What's our number?
25 or something?
No, rehab. What's our rehab number?
Oh, it's 70.
No, 85. Go back to Deal Analyzer. We're at
85.
85. So when he's like, oh, I bet you could get that all fixed up for 40. Be like, well, tell me how you're getting 40. How are you getting 40? Because I'm looking at roof, window, siding, and kitchen, bath, everything.
Don't be like, no, you doofus. Be like,
yeah. Don't be like, no way, you're totally wrong. Then that he's offended now, right? So we never want to create where we're offending somebody or argumentative. So then when he's like, he might say, I have no idea, that's not my thing. Okay, so if he won't answer, then we give him our answer. So then I would say, man, I'm looking at least $85,000 to bring this to renovate this home. Why does all this matter? Because
you're preparing him for the low.
I'm preparing him for why I'm low. So then when I say, okay, let's put everything together. Man, I'm looking at a 175 on a resale, and then I'm looking at a 85,000 on a rehab. If I factor in closing costs, financing costs, make a little bit of a profit, I'm going to need to be down there like around 25,000, somewhere around 25,000. Now I give my offer.
Then he's not like freaking out at you for making such a low offer. He actually understands why.
Now he understands why. You've created a reason why. And with agents, here's the thing with agents. If they get on your side, so if he's like, dude, I totally get it, you're right. He may not even say you're right, but if he's like, okay, I see where you're coming from, now he uses that information we just gave him to go back to the seller and say, look, I got a cash offer, they're really low,
That's smart.
they're 25,000, but wait a minute, let's talk this out. I think we need to consider this offer. We've been on the market for 225 days. Here's why. It's probably not going to sell as high. And then he tells the sellers all the reasons why we told him we need to be low. So sometimes you can't get through that whole conversation because the agents just aren't friendly and they're like, what's your offer?
Yeah.
So then I'll say, man, I'll say things like, man, are you sitting down? Or, man, I'm embarrassed to tell you my offer.
Yeah.
Now, why do we say things like that?
Because then they know and they're not thinking you're a big jerk because you know it's also low.
You also are saying, dude, I'm lowballing. And man, of course, I'll say when he says, dude, there's no way they'll take 25. I'll say, of course, I totally get it. That's way low from where they're at. Yeah, you're right. And then when they say that, then I'll say, but will you still call the seller and give him a verbal? Now, why do I say that? If he's like, no way they'll take it.
Just let the seller know?
Well, because sometimes agents think they know the seller's motivation, but they don't.
Yeah.
He thinks the seller won't take 25, but does he really know?
Probably not.
The only way to really know is to put a cash offer in front of the seller and see what he does. He might be like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this property. We've been sitting here forever. No one wants it.
I'm paying taxes.
Fine. Yeah, I'm paying property taxes and insurance and upkeep. Fine. Sell it to that cash buyer for $25,000.
Get it off my books.
Meanwhile, the agent's thinking that he's going to say no. So agents think they know, and oftentimes they don't know. Even though the seller might have said to him on the last offer, no way will I take 50. So now he's thinking, okay, well, he won't even take 50. Of course, he's not going to take 25. Well, that was then. This is now. Motivation changes constantly with people. Monthly, weekly, daily.
Yeah,
He
may be thinking interest rates are up. I'm not going to find
Right.
a buyer. I got a cash buyer.
He may have said no to 50 yesterday and will say yes to 25 today, because motivation changes. He might have woken up today and said, man, I got this, I'd love to go on this trip, or man, I got this big bill coming up. And when we say we can close fast at 25, and he's like, I can get a $25,000 check in my pocket tomorrow. All right, let's do it. So see what I mean? You just never know. And so we have to get the agent to understand.
Yeah.
So we don't want the agent to write the offer if he's saying no, because he's not going to. He's not going to take the time to do it. But a phone call is easy. So I would say something like this. Man, can you just call the seller? I know he's going to say no, you're totally right, but would you mind just calling him and giving him our cash offer? And if he's like, nah, I just know for a fact he's not going to take 25. Then I would say, look, by you making the verbal offer for me, it's only helping you. Now, why? Why do you think it's helping the agent?
Because are you doing double dipping?
Yeah, we're definitely going to say that too. We're going to talk about double dip with the agent. But why is it in the agent's best interest to make our low offer even though the seller is going to say no? What benefit would there be for the agent? Do you think the agent would love a price reduction right now? It's at 90. Would it be helpful for the agent to sell this property if he could get a $10,000 or $15,000 price drop? Would, right?
Probably, yeah.
Because now the price is lower. So when he says to the seller, hey, I got a buyer at 25, the seller's now thinking, you know what, 90 is not going to get this done. I don't want 25, but maybe it's time for a price drop. So then if anything, this is helping the agent get a price reduction even if they say no to R25. So that's why I tell that to the agent. I'm like, look, it's in your best interest to call and make our cash offer because it's going to help you get a price reduction, which is good for you because you want to sell this, right?
Yeah.
And it's not selling at 90. And so these are reasons why you want to try to convince the agent to make your low offer. That makes sense?
Yep.
And so again, how do we say double dip? How do we say that to the agent?
I'd let you write for me, or
Yeah, so I say it like this.
represent me?
Exactly. So I say it like this. Just so you know, I would let you represent me and write the offer. Now, what is that saying to the agent? He knows exactly what that means. What is that saying to the agent?
Double dipping.
It means there's no buyer's agent here, which means not only are you getting the full list commission, but you're also getting the buyer side commission, essentially
about it,
doubling his commission.
His deal just became a $50,000 deal.
Same thing.
It's the same end result. He's getting 3% more.
Exactly.
By using you.
Exactly. So now he's super motivated to get your deal done because he's doubling his commission by working with you directly as the double agent on that.
Got it.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, so let's see how it goes.
Okay, so I got it.
You got it up? What's their name?
Nancy.
Okay, so you're calling Nancy. I'll put the property up.
Just gotta let her know.
Let's go, Johnny. You've got this. Do you want me to slap your face?
Nope.
Let's do it. That's where you work. You work out. You slap
Yeah,
your
it's
face.
different than working.
No,
It's
come on.
working
It works
different.
here. I'm serious, Johnny. It works. It works.
Come on,
All right, go.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello. I'm looking
Can I
at.
help you?
Yes, I'm looking at your offer or your listing on Cass Avenue, and
Tell me about it.
okay, yeah. Let me know about this thing.
Okay. Well, it needs some work. There was a tenant in there for like 15 or 20 years. no real update. The roof, is in bad shape, but it's not leaking. It just kind of looks bad, so it's not leaking. So that's good. Let's see. What else, Dominic, on our forecast? It needs some work.
Yeah, obviously it's, but
The front porch is, the front part of the front porch is towards the door. The cement has sunk down some, so that would need to be, covered over with a deck or repaired or replaced or whatever. The kitchen's very small. Like I said, it's really not been updated.
I'm an investor and I'm looking at this as possibly flipping it.
okay, I'm an investor and I'm looking at this for a possible flip.
The seller is about as low as he's going to go with the price.
Why is that?
He's already dropped the prices a lot.
So is there a reason why you guys have to keep dropping? Why won't it sell?
It needs work.
Yeah.
Look at it, think it's a quick flip, and there's work that needs to be done on it.
I see it's been listed.
Plaster, repairs, and paintings, and a lot of
Yeah,
things.
it's been listed for about 220 days. That's
It has. Mm-hmm.
okay. I see it's also next to a pretty big residential road, commercial road.
It's on Cass. That's a busy road.
Yeah, you don't think that has anything to do with part of the reason why it won't sell?
Not really.
Okay, tell me why. Why do you think that?
It just needs a lot of work. So
Okay.
The right person has looked at it yet.
So you think that the reason it's been listed for this long is because it needs work. That the issues with it being next to a commercial area, that doesn't have anything to do with why it won't sell. Because that's what I'm worried about here. Because
No, in fact, it's zoned mixed use, so it can be used for residential.
Yeah.
It can be used for multiple tenants. It can be used for retail. It can be used for offices. And
So
you had
I need to be
anything
quite a
besides
bit
that,
lower
you
than
have
this
to have
price.
the city. If they'll
You
allow
don't
it.
think there's anything we can do?
Okay. Yeah. I need to be quite a bit lower than your asking price, but
Yeah, he wouldn't be interested then.
not at all.
No.
Okay.
No,
Well.
not at all. Like I said, he's not as low as he's gonna go.
Okay. What do you think the house would sell for though after it was all fixed up?
I would have to look it up. I have to do comps on it.
Okay. Well,
8 months or whatever it's been.
Okay, I've got some comps, and I see over towards more of the residential areas and the streets and the more neighborhood areas. The houses there are selling for around 220, but I don't know if ours would sell because there's not very many comps right by next to the highway, next to this commercial area.
Yeah.
So
We really thought somebody would buy it for zoning, to put an office in there.
yeah,
Rental, something like that. In fact, a dog groomer looked at it. There's been, several people that looked at it, but they want to make contracts, and they won't go make a contract. So.
okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you my offer, and could you tell the seller my offer? Just let him know what my offer is in case. Like a verbal.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay, just to let you know, we just had a verbal for 120. He turned down.
why?
You're asking 90.
You're,
You know what? I'm sorry. That was the house next door. I'm sorry.
okay.
Totally right next to each other.
I was confused there. I was like, it's listed at 90.
Yeah. No. Okay, go ahead and give me your offer.
Okay, 24,120.
That's absolutely no. He would say no to that. That's no to more than that.
Can you still give him the verbal for me,
Absolutely not.
please?
Absolutely. Can I
Okay.
have your name?
I'm Jonathan.
Okay, real good, Jonathan. I'll send you a text or I'll call you, one of the two.
Perfect. Do you
So-
have anything else?
All right, perfect. Sounds good. Do you have anything else that you have listed? I heard you talking about the house that he turned down an offer for on.
Yeah. There's one next door that was pending for, I don't know, 2. It went on the market right away. Got an offer. It was pending, and a couple had a pre-approval, and everything just was difficult, and finally enough was enough, and they couldn't get financed, so we just put it back on the market like 2 days ago,
Right next
and
door.
that wasn't out.
Okay, Jonathan, awesome call. That was such a good call. I'm so proud of you. Good job. What did you like? What did you think went well? And what do you think you could have done differently or better?
Thought I should have. There were those questions when like going back over it that I wish I would have asked, like more about just about the property. I don't know, stuff that I'd have to remember when I rewatched it. But yeah, I liked being able to. I felt like I was better at talking that time.
Yeah, like having responses and keeping the conversation going. Yeah, she was a great agent because she was patient with you when you were trying to like ask things and get things out. So I agree, that was really great. I liked how you asked. You still gave her your verbal. It was really funny because you said $24,120.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's great because it's like, hey, I scientifically, mathematically came up with a number.
Yeah.
And this isn't just some pie in the sky thing. I actually ran a formula. So one of the things that I think we could have done differently is remember when she said, this is as low as the seller will go. So they're at 90, we're at 20, and she's saying that's as low. And it was kind of like, okay, well, why is that as low as they can go? And you did ask that, and she didn't really answer it, but I would kind of keep on that theme.
Keep bugging her about it, or like.
Yeah, not bug so much, but just keep asking like, well, you know, given the amount of work it needs, and given the busy road, and given some of these things.
This is why I have to maintain a low offer.
Yeah, well, given these things, it's probably going to need to sell for less. Why do you think the seller's not willing to come down anymore? Are you still thinking you can get 90 for it?
Yeah.
And maybe try to like coax out of her why. It could be that he's got a mortgage, then he can't go any lower. It could be who knows what reasons. I mean, he obviously thinks it's worth more than it is. Now, the one thing that was great was you said, do you have anything else? And here we find out she's got a property right next door. In fact, she got confused between that one.
So she let us know one of the cash buyers' offers on it.
Yeah. Yeah, she said she said they turned down 110. Is that what she said? Yeah, they
had that just listed for 160. So
why is that important? What did we learn from that?
that that's what all the other cash buyers think the house is listed at for its worth, and we also know now what she won't go lower than.
Right, good. So we know right now that at least one other cash buyer in the market offered 110. That's super valuable because it's listed at 160 and she told us they said no to a 110 offer. So right away we kind of know where somebody else in the market is. Now, we could still be at 90 or who knows what number we're at when we run numbers.
Yeah.
And just because the seller said no doesn't mean we're going to get it, but at least now we know what the market is telling us about the property. So like, let's say for example that she said that information, and let's say that we made an offer for 90 and they said yes. Well, we know there's a buyer for 120. We know there's a $20,000 wholesale because we got it at 90 and we know there was another cash offer at 110. What if we could find that guy that made the offer for 110?
So,
We'd have a 20,000. We know there's a buyer out there.
Yeah.
What if we could find him? And if he's willing to pay 110, might other buyers be willing to pay 110? So now we kind of know what our cash buyer number is if we're going to wholesale, right? So that's really cool to gather that information. And again, this is why you just let agents talk, because they'll divulge information, keep asking follow-up questions. One thing that I think would be great too is you did a great job asking about other properties. She said, I got this one. A thought that came to me when that happened was we could offer to make to cash offer on both.
Yeah.
Couldn't we? We could say to her, hey, I'm going to take a look at your other one, 406, 404 and 406. Let's take a look at both of them. What if we made you a cash offer on both? Might the seller be willing to do a bigger discount?
Yeah.
Like ask that question. She might say, you know what? He might come down if you take both of them. Now we can work maybe a deal and get both properties.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that's win-win.
Yeah. So that's an idea. So remember, you always want to pivot on the spot when you're gathering information from agents. Be thinking, what is it that they're telling me? It's really hard because you want to be thinking about the next thing to say and then tune them out.
Just need to keep your mind blank and then ready for what they say.
And just listen to what they say and then try to think of a response to that would make sense to keep the conversation alive.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I thought you did fantastic, talking through these things with the agent. And I mean, the one thing about this is it's all about the reps. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the better you sound, the more objections you learn how to overcome. And so like the goal I always tell everybody is 5 a day. If you do, and it's not about whether you get it or not, it's about quality conversations. If you can have 5 quality conversations like this one every day, and you do that for 100 offers, you're gonna get a deal.
Yeah.
And you keep doing it. It's all about consistency, it's all about repetition, and the stars will align and you'll get a good deal. But Jonathan, you're getting really good about identifying these, comping them, getting on the phone with that agent. That's like half the battle, is just getting them on the phone and having a conversation.
Yeah.
So
any feedback, Dad, you saw?
no, I thought he did awesome. Keeping her talking and getting divulging that info for the next place. I think that'd be the angle I'd go after, is maybe make an offer of, he didn't take 110, maybe you can go 115, but I want the other one for
30 or 25 or something. Yeah, maybe you can
bump up a little, and now he's thinking, okay, I get rid of both these. It's a cash deal, they're close quick.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes cash buyers, take all their deals and they'll give you a big deal, because now
she might push that deal too, because now she's getting 3% both ways.
Twice.
On 120.
She's getting 6%. 3 and 3 for listing and 3 and 3 for buyers, and sells them both at the same time.
That's a heck of an incentive for her.
You got to remember, some agents have a lot of influence on sellers. Mm-hmm. So if she says, "Hey, you know what? I really think you should take this.
Yeah.
I don't know, we're going to get something better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Market's shifting, interest rates going up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a slowdown. This guy's cash, so there's no financing contingency. She
also saying, I thought when she was explaining that deal that was rejected, it was a big long process and they couldn't come up with a deal. So the guy was strung along, the seller, for a while.
Which means he's even more motivated now. One thing you always want to say, at the end of the conversation is, hey, in the future, when you get distressed properties like this, call me.
Yeah.
Save my number. I'm a cash buyer. Save my number. Call me. I'll give you a number before you even list it. Maybe we can get a deal done. I'm fast. I'm convenient. I'm easy to work with. We close quick.
Yep.
It's picture on all the things. I'll let you represent on all your listings. And so then you build now referral businesses. Now those agents start to call you on their deals, and that's when it gets fun. Yeah. When you're not chasing them and they're chasing you. That's when this business gets fun. Because now it's less work. They're calling you. Inbound's always better than outbound in sales, right? So, but other than that, Jonathan, keep it up, man. You're doing awesome.
Sweet.
Crushed
Good
it.
job, Johnny.